Hey, welcome back to Cars, Golf, and Cigars. I'm your man, Kadon Sterling. Today I'm giving you an update on my recently purchased C6 Corvette. Let's get all the specs for if this is your first time watching. Thank you so much for watching Cars, Golf, and Cigars. You know what I'm saying? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. I would appreciate it. It helps the channel out tremendously. So, let's get into it. All right. My new acquisition to the Cool School car collection is right behind me, right next to Big Girl over here, next to the Escalade, right? 06, no, I'm sorry, 08 C6 3LT Corvette. We're going to talk all about it. What has been done since I've had it in the 3 weeks. What has to be done, because she's not perfect. She's sexy, but she ain't perfect. All right? I'm going to take out for a ride, and we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Cars, Golf, and Cigars. I'm your man, Kadon Sterling. And we're going to talk about this update of my 08 C6 Corvette 3LT spec. As you can tell from inside, it's all black and red. It was specially spec'd out like that down to the red seat belts. I mean, I actually got really lucky on this right here. It's a story behind this car, man. There's a major story behind this car. And I've only had it probably like 3 weeks. So I'm just taking it out real quick for a ride. We're going to get back. We're going to burn a cigar. And we're going to talk about it. All right? But the one thing I can say, for anybody that's thinking about buying a C6 Corvette or C7, C5, and for the very, the ones that really can pull it off, them C8s, listen, if you're trying to buy a Corvette, do it. That's the best way I can tell you. If you really want one, go get it, because you will enjoy yourself. You will definitely enjoy yourself in these cars, man. I've had a Camaro, which I did love. I liked because it was a V6, but it was pretty. But this V8, man, this LS3 engine, this is something. This was great American engineering, and I'm so proud to actually be an owner of one of these vehicles at this point in time. So, like I said, we're gonna talk about it when I get back. Alright? Stick with me, y'all. Cars, Golf, and Cigars. It's your man, Kadon Sterling. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back again. Cars, Golf, and Cigars. I'm your man, Kadon Sterling, and thank you for watching my channel. All right. You know, I've always got to get to the business first, okay? Part of the business is merchandising, okay? Ownership and profits. What else is there? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Ownership and profits, okay? This basically just lets the world know that you're not here for the small talk. You're not here for a lot of, you know, when they just, for no reason, because they just want somebody to listen to them. No, what are we talking about? Are we talking about how we can network together? Are we talking about how we can make something build together? We don't have to talk about an immediate lick. It don't have to be an immediate cash out situation. It could be a long-term bearish viewpoint of an investment. But either way, at the end of the day, it has to come down to ownership and profits. So you can get one of your own ownership and profit sweatshirts or hoodies on Etsy.com. All right. Mogul Mindset. You put that in the search bar. That's the store. That's my store that I created on Etsy. It has everything on there when it comes to apparel to basically appeal to entrepreneurs. And that's what it's all about. Okay. Now that we got that out the way, also Cars, Golf, and Cigars, the hats will be back. We sold out. So I got to re-up because people have been asking me for them and I don't have them right now. But I will. But I appreciate everybody who purchased one, and I thank everybody for watching the channel. Let's get back to this Night Rider right here behind me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. First of all, let me give a big shout out to The Real Deal dealership, my man Vic. Okay, that's one of my squares. Let me give I shouted him out before. I'm gonna shout him out again. No, The Real Deal is not sponsoring the channel or anything like that. That's just one of my good friends, also one of my squares, one of my Masonic brothers, and he actually facilitated me being able to purchase this, okay, because he has a dealer's license. So if anybody really wants somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to dealing with certain cars, because this was purchased from an auction, IAA, which is also not sponsoring this, but this is where it was purchased from. It was purchased from IAA auction site. And let's get into it, but while we doing that, you know, I don't really do too much without having a cigar conversation. And this is my cigar of the month right here, okay? The Upsetter, the original Rude Boy. And that's the name on the brand too. That's how they labeled it. The original Rude Boy, okay? 6x60. I just did a small review on this when I was talking about the differences between Live Golf and PGA. But go check that episode and you'll see everything I was talking about on that, okay? Now, first of all, I gotta spark this right here. This is a damn good cigar. Hold on for a second, y'all. Yes. Damn right, it's football season. I got my football cup. Now, back to what I was saying. The C6 Corvette 08. Let me tell you something. I've driven the C8. I've driven the C5. And I've driven the C6. I won't say this is my favorite Corvette because now I own one, but it's a damn good purchase. Damn good purchase for the price. But before we get into the money talk, let's get into what was going on with it. I told you this came from IAA. So now, I'm gonna put up some pictures from it, and it's gonna show you exactly the condition that I saw it in when I first saw it. So stick with me. I'm gonna put these pictures up right now, and then we'll get right back. Okay, now, This is a salvage title vehicle. I know last year I said no more salvage titles. I said that after I bought the Mercedes. I said no more salvage titles. You got to go through too much. I did say that, and 60% of me still feels like that, but this was a deal, okay? So since it was a deal, I had to jump on it because I knew there was somebody else in the country looking at this and was like, I'm about to jump on it. Now, let me tell you how it was advertised. It was advertised as an enhanced vehicle. Basically, enhanced just means it might have been running, maybe it wasn't running, they don't know if it's running, but it has power. So when I was looking at it, it showed that they did not label it running and driving. They said it was missing a cat, and it was a bank repo. Now, the bank repo part is what had me actually interested, because most bank repos are not really damaged. Most. A lot of times you will get bank repos that are ran through only because the previous owner tries to destroy the car before they know they're about to get repoed, you know, so they'll take out the stereo, they'll cut up the seats, they'll do anything to devalue the vehicle before the vehicle has to be repoed because they know the vehicle is going to ready to get sold on an auction. And they don't want the next person to get it to enjoy it like they did, especially if they had already put money into it, if they already modified it. You know, they try to just like if you're going to kick somebody out of an apartment, they try to destroy the apartment because, number one, they got no other power. That's the only thing they could do is destroy the apartment because they're getting kicked out anyway. And they don't realize that a bill is still going to follow them wherever they go because you just damaged property. This one wasn't like that. I really looked at the pictures. I mean, I microscoped those pictures, you know what I mean? And when I was doing that, I realized that, number one, it had full power. So whatever reason they couldn't get it to start, they're not going to really tell you. It could be anything. It could just be a dead battery. It could be a bad ground. It could be anything, you know? But if you got power, if all the lights is coming on and the air conditioner is working, the windows is working, you can get this car started unless the engine is seized up. And even if the engine was seized up, you would still hear it clicking or something like that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I took a chance, rolled the dice. I told my man Vic, I said, I need to have that. That's my car. I saw the pictures and said, that's my car. I did the research and did the due diligence and said, that is my car. I claimed it. The next day I was like, how much money we talking? What we got to do to go get it? He gave me the numbers. I did the wire transfers. 48 hours later, it was in my driveway. That's really how fast it went. But let me tell you, no, it was not running and driving. You know what I'm saying? When I got home and I saw it sitting there, because I wasn't there, when I got home and I saw it sitting there, it had a tape over the main of the driver window, so I automatically said, oh man, they done broke the window. No, this is the deal. The car battery was completely dead, of course. These vehicles are completely ran electronically, okay? If you do not have the fob for it, okay, if you don't have your fob, you don't have no car. The fob battery was dead as well. So the fob battery was dead, the car battery was dead. So they didn't break the window. That's not what happened. They left the window cracked halfway down and they taped over it because there is a emergency door release inside the cockpit. That's the only way, well, it's two ways to get in, but it's really one of the only two ways you can get in this car if there's no power. Like literally, if the windows are up and there's no battery in there, the car's gonna lock down. I mean, literally locked down. If you have no key, no fob, no nothing, you can't get in that car. You would have to probably break the window. Or yeah, I don't know how else you would do it, to be honest with you. So that was a blessing because I said, oh, the window's not broken. It's just that they left it down and I can't get in. I couldn't open the trunk. I couldn't do nothing. Then I realized from YouTube that there's an emergency brake. There's an emergency door release on both sides, passenger and driver. So I had to reach down under there, tear my armpit up, trying to get in the car because it's so low to pull that, and the door opened up with no problem. But it was still dead. Now, normally when you open the door, all the lights come on, all that good stuff. Car was dead. But opening the door allowed me to open the hood. Put the jumper on it, power. Immediate power. Windows work up and down. You know, I'm thinking the worst. I'm prepared for the worst. I just bought a Corvette from an auction. I'm prepared for the worst. So everything worked, but no, it wouldn't start. No start. Hit the start button. Nothing. Not even a nothing. But the radio's working, the CD player's working, the window's working, the heated seats is working, the air conditioner's working. Everything is the screen on the window, the up display is working. Everything's working and working good. Like there's no lights out, nothing. The alarm is working. Everything is working. No power to start though. So I said maybe it's the battery. I read, you know, sometimes that battery could be old. You got to put a really good battery in it. So I went out the same day and bought an Optimum battery. Big salute and shout out to Jay Leno, because I actually learned that from Jay Leno. He puts Optimum batteries in all of his sports cars because they probably the best batteries to put in because they give you the best cranking power, right? Went and bought that, brought it right to the house immediately, dropped that in there, put everything together, got back in the car, everything was working. Hit that brake, hit the power, hit the start button, nothing. De nada, nothing. So now I'm like, that ain't it. Looked up something online saying that the fuel relay fuse can burn out. That can cause it. Popped the hood, got the fuel relay fuse, bought a new one, brought the old one back, dropped it up in there. Nothing. Yeah. So now I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm all over the forums. I'm looking for answers. So basically, to make a long story short, what it was inside the automatic gear shift, because this is not a 5-speed manual, it's a 6-speed automatic with the shifters on the paddle, on the steering wheel. So what it was, the inside the transmission, there are little things that keep the transmission in gear. I mean, real small. They not big. You put it in drive, you put it in neutral. It's what keeps it in those gears. And whatever it was broken inside of it. Even though you could put it in park, the car wasn't reading that it was in park. So if it's not reading or recognizing that it's in park, even though it is in park, it won't allow the car to start. It's a safety feature because you can't start the car in neutral. You can't put it in drive, then start. It's not going to happen. It has to be in park for it to ignite, for it to initiate. Man, because I'm thinking I need a new starter. Starter was fine. The paperwork from IAA said it was no Cadillac convert. The Cadillac converters are perfect. They never was tore out. They was never taken. I'm calculating thousands of dollars I got to put into this car. But I got it for such a good price, it really didn't make a difference. Come to find out, what my issue was, basically because of parts and labor, and also I had the automatic transmission flushed, new oil change. Everything is in this. Let's do it all while it's in the shop. I put $1,000 into the maintenance part of it to get it fixed and get it going. My man, shout out to Danny at Tire Pro. He called me up and he said, "Listen, man, you good?" Because they've been handling all my cars for the last 3-4 months. I've been going there. He called me up and said, "Good news, man. Your car worked." I said, "What?" He said, "It works and it runs good." I said, "It's running?" He said, "Yeah, it's running. You can come pick it up." Of course, you know, your man was like, you know what I'm saying? Because if it didn't run, then this would have been a bust and I'd have spent a lot of money on something that I got to resell. And I want to keep this because this was perfect. This is exactly how I would have spec'd it out if I would have bought it in 08. Okay? Now, options in this car. Whoever bought this car in 08 spent $8,500 in options. Okay? I'll tell you about that in a second. So now the car is running and he hits me up. He was like, "Yeah, I jumped the gun on that. I think something's still wrong because the shift cable is stretched out. It's not. Give us about 3 hours. So now I'm like, man, this man done play with my emotions, man. He didn't have to do me like that. He didn't have to do me like that. But either way, called him back 3-4 hours later. He was like, you know what? It wasn't even no shift cable. It was really that little piece I was telling you about that wasn't keeping it in park, wasn't helping it read the computer to tell the computer the car's in park. That little clip, it was a clip. A little clip was broken from it that basically was, when they tried to put it back on, it fell back off, so they had to replace it with. Either way, that's all it really came down to. But you got to put this on the lift. You damn near got to drop everything from under it because it's all panels under it to protect it, okay? So it's not like you got to gut it. It's not an engine out thing, but you got to take the pipes, the muffler. You got to do a lot to get to that transmission because you can't do it from inside the vehicle. You got to go from up the bottom. So it was labor and time. That's really what it was. The labor costs more than the actual parts, don't they always? But that's really what it came down to. So now she good to go. Good to go. With no check engine light, with nothing. Running like a champ. I do feel that she's a little sluggish in second gear. That's only because I'm picky. But that could be taken care of. That's minor. That's nothing. That could be done. But then I'm driving yesterday, because it just started running yesterday. Had a good time with it, driving it, put like maybe 8 miles on it. Just driving it easy. It hasn't been driven in a while. You don't want to blow it out right away. Let all that new fluid circulate. Let the engine get used to it again. Let the engine get used to running. Make sure your harmonic wheel is right, because if the harmonic wheel is wobbling, then you're going to have a problem and you got to change some belts. So I didn't want to do nothing too crazy. All right. So then the check engine light came on last night. I'm like, there we go. Back to drinking. Because I got to get this car inspected by the state of Georgia, so it can't have no check engine light. Not emissions right away, just the salvage inspection, because that's the title that I have for it. So it has to go and get inspected, which is going to pass. Come to find out, I take it back to my man. Listen, man, do the codes on this and find out why, and what can we do, and how many things is wrong electronically, if any, so we can knock it all out before I even make an appointment. It needs an oxygen sensor. The oxygen sensor is not reading the fuel correctly, okay? It reads it from one level to another level to another level, and it's stuck in the middle. So if it's stuck in the middle, it doesn't go to where it's supposed to just clear it and be like everything's good, even when everything is good. So basically mean that oxygen sensor is the original oxygen sensor since 2008 is probably went bad. So the oxygen sensor has to get changed out. Then after that, tires. I got to put new tires on here. I can tell by driving it that these tires are old. They're not worn down, but they're not super smooth that I would like. But they're not bad. I could deal with them. But if you really want to enjoy this vehicle, you have to invest in tires. If you have a sports car, you have to invest in tires. And this is going to be a sports tire kind of vehicle always. It's never going to have winter tires on there. It's going to have sports tires. So you might have to change these tires out every 35,000 miles or so, or 30,000 or 40,000 miles. But you're going to have to invest in tires. So far, that's it. So far. I got some things going on with it. I got some things coming to change it around. I got some things coming, minor modifications coming. I'm not going crazy with it. It's not going to be a track vehicle. I'm not looking to get 1,000 horsepower out of it. If I tune it, I might tune it next summer. But I'm very, very content with the 440 horses that is coming out of it right now. If maybe I get 500 horses out of it, but at the same time, I really don't care because I'm not racing nobody. I just love this vehicle and I love the culture of what Corvettes are about. I really do. True performance American sports car. One of the greatest sports cars? No, not at all. Does it compete with other sports cars that cost $100,000 or better? Maybe a a few years back, not the ones of today, maybe 5 years ago, you know. But at the same time, there's something very cool about being a Corvette owner. There's something very cool and classy about having one of these vehicles in your collection. And that's why I wanted it, because I don't want cars to flip and sell. If that's the case, I would just flip it and sell them. No, certain cars that I own, I'm keeping them because I want them. You know what I'm saying? But I thank y'all for watching. Word of mouth is how you build a brand, people. So tell everybody you know about Cars, Golf, and Cigars. Go to the Etsy store. I am your man, Kadon Sterling. Mogul Mindset in the search bar at the Etsy store. Get you one of your sweatshirts. You need to have one of these ownership and profits. If we ain't talking about that, what we talking about, man? All right? I'll see you on the next one.